Okay, so I will be showing you some tips for city skylines in today's episode that might actually help your traffic a lot. In city skylines, your traffic, you might have a lot of traffic, but mainly, here's what you should do to fix your traffic in city skylines. Number one, replace the busiest parts of your highways with 6-lane roads. This allows for traffic to get into more or lanes and be able to move smoothly throughout the road. Because of this, you'll be able to do a much better intersection. In city skylines, most maps have a specific three-way intersection that's I decided to make a custom one here. Here's the layout. I replaced the expressway with a four lane road, which is actually good because this helps your traffic flow a whole lot better. You can also see my road does narrow, but it is effective at keeping my traffic good. It's also super efficient because it means that my traffic can easily get to one place to another, and it doesn't have a super duper hard time getting through.
Let me pee.
Alright, we can go to the bathroom.
Come on. Come on, let me pee.
There's also a couple more tips you should know. In city skylines, yes, you do see this insanely narrow ramp to get on here, but I kind of had to do this because the game did not allow me to do a four-way road, and I'm not gonna be putting a 4-lane road right here just for people to get onto the intersection. That doesn't make sense. We do not need to have that. So I made a custom three-way intersection that allows for people to get it to multiple different routes. I might also upgrade this intersection in the future to allow for better connectivity. Better connectivity around the area.
Oh, on the phone.
So this is the custom three-way. It's a pretty good three-way because it allows people to turn right if they gotta go, say for example, this way. I also got rid of the traffic lights on this road so it doesn't cause any real issues. As for the traffic can flow really smoothly throughout this intersection.
Daddy.
If you want the schematic, I'll have the schematic here so you can look. It's also a really good type of intersection because this allows for your pedestrians or vehicles. Most of the time, if you have massive commercial areas, which in city skylines, you're always supposed to max out your area, but usually most people would probably have not really suburbs. Because once you unlock the suburbs again, you don't really need them but I just decided to put them back. But mainly, they just got absolutely, well, there's barely any homes around here. Like, most people haven't even moved in yet. But you also want to have a specific layout. I used my traditional grid layout where I have a really long road, which allows for more buildings to be put on it. And this is how I did it. But you should. Now, your intersection, most people are going to want to go on a specific route. You might have most of your pedestrians use the main routes, but if you do not have a traffic light here, people can use this intersection actually really smoothly. No. So, this is a pretty smooth intersection. People can get onto Sterling Street if they gotta get it on there, or in general, you could just use this really good intersection. The design of this intersection is pretty well done. It's good, and it also allows for somebody to get to this area. Most people probably would use this area. However, in general, I would probably say that you could have a massive amount of suburb here. It's fine because I replaced most of my residential with high density. This is in general due to because more people can live in high density. However, high density is mainly just something. It doesn't really matter, but in my city, I'm just rebuilding the suburbs, which, yes, might take up a lot of space that I might need in the future. Most of the suburb isn't built, so I would just want to keep the areas that were already built in general. Many people in city skylines, once you unlock the high density commercial, you want to maximize the amount of jobs you have in your city. Also, you might not be able to fix your traffic issue permanently or even fully fix it, but in general, just be able to have a good intersection that you can use. Because if people are using a specific intersection, always replace some parts of your highways with 6-lane roads, just so they got more time to get it through. Also, custom intersections can be useful a lot, because if you have custom intersections, people will not try to go in front of each other. You see how most people in my intersection want to head to Wilson here to be able to get into a different area. It's insanely effective by making custom intersections that your citizens can use easier. Some people might use these intersections, while some don't. But if these intersections do not experience traffic, then you can possibly get rid of that. These are in general traffic tips that I would use because these tips can be really useful if you want to lower your traffic. Now, in city skylines, this can happen where a whole lot of people will use your traffic. So if areas get too much congestion, get rid of the traffic light and be able to allow people to get through smoothly. This also gets rid of some parts of the intersection. If the area continues to have something like this happen, just allow your traffic to go through and try to meet with your traffic demand. If you can do that, you can make a successful city that absolutely can have the best traffic flow. Always go to areas where traffic is highest. If you want to even be able to slow your traffic down, then make sure you do not do this. Do not put two lane roads that are not one way. If you do this, your traffic has to get in one lane and has to pull up. Instead, do something like this. This is a four lane one way road. This allows for your traffic to go through much smoother without clogging up that much. Even though City Skylines' AI is absolutely horrible with the traffic demand, it can be helpful to have this. Have this. It's also insanely useful because residential areas never have ever built all your residential areas at once. Now I know you can do this, but if you don't want massive death waves in your city, make sure that your areas are basically connected. You should also do something about these areas.
Nope.
Though you can also use the info views this tool to be able to know where the traffic is going to. This is really helpful because the custom intersection that I created is a pretty helpful tool to get rid of your traffic, but don't replace the intersections that aren't busy. Video. So, mhm.
Yeah.
So these custom intersect.
Mommy.
He's messing with my Nerf guns. So let's see. Also in city skylines, mostly your traffic is probably going to be these industrial vehicles. Now this happens all the time with your traffic, especially with imports. Imports have a whole lot more demand. So people want to get back to your residential, especially import vehicles.
Good call. Oh.
A whole lot more people are going to want to head back to your residential, or not really residential, but if you have an industrial area in your city, a lot of vehicles are going to use it. Industrial areas and city skylines can get so packed, it's almost impossible to fix the traffic because of how many buildings there can get. And the game will always try saying, oh, the space is already occupied. I tried to make this custom roundabout here, but it absolutely just failed. It just failed. It's failed. I might even redo this. Okay. Kinda. Um, Also, in city skylines, three-way intersections can be useful. These are simply three-way intersections, but you don't have to use these. Cloverleafs can also be pretty helpful because they allow for a bridge to go through. However, most maps simply use the three-way intersection, which is kind of city skylines is classic. Sick. But If you want to be able to fix your traffic, be sure to know where the traffic is starting at. Now you see, I don't know why the game is saying that I have like high traffic flow here, but sometimes your AI in City Skyline just completely stops and decides to form a traffic jam. I don't know why that happens, and then the vehicle just disappears in the next few seconds. But if you can have smooth traffic in City Skylines, this can help out a lot with if your traffic demand. Because a lot of industrial vehicles are gonna want to return to their facilities or import agricultural products. Huh? What? Oh, dang. You can even do a couple other things with your city if you want to be able to have better traffic flow. I did do a couple custom things here, just in case if traffic wants to use these. But make sure you go with your traffic's demand. Most of your traffic might not use these roads, but in general, do what your traffic wants to do. Sometimes vehicles will actually need to use these, especially Harris's. Because Harris's and City Skylines basically pick up the dead. So they have to go a lot of routes to get to people. So make sure you have one-way roads at your custom intersections. This is a completely custom intersection, and you can see how smooth this is going. Traffic is flowing nice, and people are going in and out just fine. Also, people aren't getting stuck at one road. They can actually go pretty quickly. And sometimes some people may even just go in general. Now this happens all the time where people just completely would just want to turn around on your highway. I don't know why people do this, but this happens all the time. These intersections can also help fire department vehicles, ambulances, and police vehicles, which is helpful because you want to have those be able to get better connections to the area. Make sure you also have entertainment. This isn't gonna always help, but it's still helpful. Also, make sure you have buses around your city that allow for smooth for traffic and less car usage. Most vehicles in city skylines are probably going to be industrial vehicles trying to get it back to their zones. So this three-way intersection that I made here is useful for that. Most people will use the main three lanes or just simply the right lane because most of the time industrial vehicles take longer routes for some reason. I don't know why. But you can also adjust us your your custom intersection to be able to get it back. These custom intersections can also be upgraded to be able to allow for better traffic flow. You can also make custom exit ramps for some vehicles which might use these. Especially, you want to also shorten the distance that some of your vehicles take, especially vehicles that are importing. You guys were in the right lane. Why are you guys going straight? You're in the right. Oh, yeah. This would be straight. And this also could help out a lot because with it custom exits, then you can do a whole lot better on your intersections, allowing for better traffic flow on all accounts. You might not be able to always have a vehicle user custom area, but if it actually does, then that's good. Traffic in city skylines is key to removing because if the traffic is removed and you can find the source, you can completely stop traffic by just doing these types of custom intersections. This intersection is shorter than an actual three-way. There's only a couple more roads, and you can see my traffic is doing so good because it's 6 lane. Now, apparently in City Skylines, like just City Skylines 1, they really need to add City Skylines to the PlayStation 5 instead of having remastered. But apparently in City Skylines 1, I don't know why highways only have 3 lanes. Like, that doesn't make sense. Even a large road has more lanes than a highway. And I don't know why the game calls these sound barriers. These walls, these things that you see surrounding the road, those are just walls put on the road. So I don't know why a lot of people say, I don't know why City Skylines says that that's, well, helps with noise pollution. I don't really know if it does. Also, you can also make custom expressways for your buses. If you want buses to have better expressways in city skylines, most things in city skylines can have custom bus expressways. These are useful because if you want to be able to have better connection flow and other things in your city, most people might not even use these, but in general, make sure you can replace some parts of the highway with large road. You can also even replace some other areas. These are just traffic tips. So these tips can help you a lot in city skylines. These help a lot. Wait, don't tell me I narrowed it. Did I narrow? No, get rid of this bridge. Did I accidentally? I really accidentally. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, good, 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 good. You can also make busways. Once you've maxed out your public transport in city skylines, you can also do something. Make bus expressways. Buses in city skylines might have to use some of your expressways, but if you can do these, then you're good. You're good. Because bus expressways in city skylines can get really useful at specific timing. Once you have a bus expressway, you can use it to your advantage to be able to allow citizens to use better transport. However, with this custom intersection, the bus expressway might not work. It might not. So make sure you know what you're doing if you want to fix your traffic issues. I guess sometimes in city skylines, you're gonna mess up. It is almost impossible to fully get rid of all traffic, but you can fix traffic a whole lot more, or if you just do these steps. You can even do custom expressways, but that's if your whole city has buses going through. And so that is some traffic tips. Now, I might give more tips for city skylines in the future. But that's simply how you can get rid of your traffic. I don't. This is the best custom intersection model I had made. It's really effective. But if you guys got any other better models, you could tell me in the comments. I don't know if this is just the best one I've made so far. So that's why. That's why. All right. See you later, and I will also get more tips soon.